Hello, my dear students. Hope you're doing quite well today. So, today I've brought a very interesting topic for you all, which is what is tenor and vehicle in metaphor. So, let's begin. Before we get into the intricacies of the video, let's have a look as to what is a metaphor and revise the concept. A metaphor is a figure of speech in which one thing is described in terms of another. That means two things are compared, two different things are compared to each other directly, in a direct way. So metaphors help to convey complex ideas in a relatable way. Now let's see an example here. Life is an unpredictable journey. So that means two different things which are being compared here is life is being compared to a journey, and there is no use of the words of like or as, and therefore it is not a simile but a metaphor. Okay, so now let's talk about I.A. Richards. Now who is I.A. Richards? I.A. Richards was a 20th century British literary critic and a rhetorician. He introduced the terms tenor and vehicle to explain how metaphors create meaning. His basic literary theory is focused on new criticism, and he has done a lot of research into how to link different ideas through figurative language, and therefore he introduced the terms tenor and vehicle as key concepts of a metaphorical expression. Now let's see what is the tenor according to him. Now the tenor is the subject of the metaphor. Any metaphor, when you speak of it, the main subject you're talking about, or the idea or the thing which is being described, is the tenor. Let's see an example here. Her eyes were stars. So what is the main idea which we are talking about, or the subject of the metaphor? Here it is her eyes, right? We are talking about some woman. It suggests her, but the main thing which we are talking about is her eyes. So the tenor here in this sentence would be her eyes. Let's move to the vehicle. Now what is the vehicle in a metaphorical expression? The definition says the vehicle is the image or the concept used to describe the tenor. Now we have already understood what the tenor is. Now there is a second image or the concept which is used to describe the tenor, and that is called the vehicle here. So the example which we have already discussed in the last slide, we'll take the same example to understand what is the part of the sentence which becomes the vehicle. So her eyes were stars. So that means what was the main thing which was being compared was her eyes. It becomes the part of the tenor, and the main idea of her eyes is being compared to stars. Therefore, stars become the vehicle here in this sentence. So there are two parts in a metaphor, tenor and vehicle, and we have studied both. Now let us look at how they function together, both the things in the same sentence. So the tenor is what you are talking about, or remember that it is the main idea that you are talking about in a sentence or in a comparison. And the vehicle is the figurative image that helps to describe the tenor. So let's look at a different example this time. He was a lion in the battle. So tenor, who is the main person or the main subject we are talking about in this sentence? It is the tenor. So he becomes the tenor part of the sentence and he is being compared to a lion. Therefore, lion becomes the vehicle part of the sentence. So the two things being compared are he is being compared to a lion and therefore it becomes a metaphor. And why is it not a simile? Because there is no use of the word like or as to differentiate it or to distinguish the sentence as a simile. Alright, let's take more examples of tenor and vehicle and try and identify them in different sentences. Let's look at the first sentence here in the slide. The classroom was a zoo. That means what is the main idea in the being talked about in the first sentence? It is the classroom, and the classroom is being compared to a zoo. So the main idea being talked about or the main subject being talked about in this sentence is the tenor or the classroom. And what is the classroom being compared to becomes the vehicle, and that is the word zoo here. The same concept applies to sentence number 2. Her voice is music to my ears. Her voice becomes the tenor here, and vehicle, the voice is being compared to music, therefore music becomes the vehicle. In the third sentence, let's see. He has a heart of stone. So we are talking about some man and we are saying that his heart is being compared to stone. So what is the main subject which we are talking about? It is his heart. So tenor part of the sentence becomes his heart, and his heart is being compared to a stone. Therefore, the vehicle part of the sentence can be said to be stone, because stone is describing the tenor. Alright, let's understand what is the importance of tenor and vehicle in a metaphorical sentence, and why is it that it distinguishes between the two? Because it helps to analyze and interpret metaphors accurately. Secondly, it enhances appreciation of literature and poetry. Thirdly, it improves your own creative writing and expression, because we do understand that both tenor and vehicle are key components of a metaphorical expression and both are equally important to each other, and besides that they are also related to each other. They are relatable concepts. So, to wind it up or to have a quick recap, let's look at tenor and vehicle at a glance here. So, tenor, what is the tenor? Tenor is subject of the metaphor. That's the shortest definition which a layman can write down or understand. And the examples which we've talked about in previous sentences were that eyes were being compared, voice was being compared, and heart was being compared. So the main idea or the subject which was being compared is called the tenor. Look at vehicle. Vehicle becomes the image or the idea which describes the tenor. And in the past sentences which we talked about, we compared the main ideas or the main subject of the sentence to stars, to music, and to stone. Now, I think you have already understood the idea of a metaphor and that it has two key components of a tenor and vehicle. Therefore, I have put a few sentences here for practice. So this is a practice exercise for you, which you can do by yourself, or probably once you complete it, you can put down your answers in the comments below the video, and therefore I can check it out and respond accordingly. So identify tenor and vehicle in these sentences. First reads as, the office was a beehive of activity. Second sentence reads as, his mind is a fortress. Third, the river was a ribbon of silver in the moonlight. So I hope you must have understood the concepts of tenor and vehicle very well, and how do they function in a metaphorical expression. And therefore, in case you have liked this video, thank you so much for watching it. And just in case you feel like appreciating this video and you have liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and comment your views below the video. You can also state as to what are the different concepts or topics you would like to further see my videos in. Therefore, I will make new videos for you on those concepts. Therefore, again, I take this opportunity to thank you and have a nice day.